Welcome back to Tickets to Travel, the podcast where we unravel the chaos, brilliance, and occasionally some questionable decisions on the online travel industry, as well as the ticketing distribution industry. I'm your host, Mario Bauduin, a guy who spent 20 years in the trenches of online travel and live entertainment ticketing distribution. And I am still here to tell the tales, folks. Today, we're diving deep into travel distribution, the unsung hero of a $9 trillion global industry. Yeah, trillion with a T. This isn't just about booking a cheap flight to Cancun. We're talking about massive systems. Systems and players that decide how we book, what we book, and why we overpay for a checked bag. But here's the thing. While flights and hotels have dominated this conversation, live event tickets, concert sports, festivals have been sitting on the sidelines like an awkward kid at the prom. Today, we're exploring the history, the present, and where we're all headed with travel distribution. We'll also explore how flights, hotels, and activities became the holy trinity of online travel, and why nobody thought to include tickets to live events. Spoiler alert, it's because we didn't know what we were doing. Picture this. The 1980s, big hair, bad decisions, and airlines running on computers the size of refrigerators. Enter American Airlines and Sabre, their groundbreaking reservation system. Back then, Sabre wasn't just revolutionary, it was actually terrifying. Travel agents thought it was some kind of sorcery, but Sabre was a money-printing machine. It processed millions upon millions of reservations and, shockingly, didn't implode under the weight of its own ambition. By the late 80s, someone at Sabre had a wild idea. Hey, what if we let normal people book flights, hotels, and rental cars from their homes? Thus, the Easy Sabre solution was born. A name that screams, we're from the 80s and we're proud of it. And then the home-based travel agent became a thing. Here's an interesting fact. Did you know Easy Sabre ran on CompuServe, the first major online service provider? That's right, folks. You booked your flight at the blazing speed of 300 bits per second. Revolutionary and excruciating all at once. Fast forward to the 90s, and things get interesting. Travelocity and Expedia hit the scene, turning online travel into a digital gold rush. Suddenly, anyone with a dial-up connection and the patience of a saint could book travel. No travel agent? No problem. Unless, of course, you needed to change your booking. Here's where it gets spicy. Rich Barton, the guy who founded Expedia, decided that travelers shouldn't just book trips. They should feel more empowered. Expedia became the go-to platform for comparison shopping, which was a revolutionary concept at the time. Rich Barton was not only an innovator and disruptor in the online travel space. As the story goes, he was working on a CD-ROM travel product for Microsoft and had a revelation when Travelocity came out using the GDS to book travel. First of all, he knew that with the current pace of technology in the late 90s, a CD-ROM probably wouldn't be around very long. Then, when he looked at the GDS, it was clunky, not user-friendly. So the company that would democratize travel bookings and make the user experience better than anyone else was definitely going to win. After that pitch to Bill Gates, he got taken off of the CD-ROM project and said, you should go build that travel site. And it changed all of our lives forever. Well, Rich went on to create another little company called Zillow with others from that original Expedia team. And rumor has it, that one did pretty well too. Also to note, in the early 1990s, Bob Diener and David Littman, two law school buddies, embarked on a journey that would revolutionize hotel bookings as well. They founded Hotel Reservations Network, or HRN, a service that allowed travelers to book hotel rooms via a toll-free 800 number. A novel concept at the time. Even today, phone bookings still make up close to 30% of total online bookings. Can you believe that? As the internet began to gain traction, they recognized its potential to transform their business. In 1995, they collaborated with David Ray, a web developer, to create an online presence for HRN. This partnership marked HRN's entry into the digital world, setting the stage for future growth. In 2002, HRN rebranded as Hotels.com, reflecting its expanded online capabilities. The following year, Cheryl Rosner joined the team, bringing her expertise from Kimpton Hotels. She played a pivotal role in enhancing the company's marketing strategies and customer experience, contributing to its overall success. Together, Diener, Littman, and Rosner transformed Hotels.com into a leading online hotel booking platform, combining innovative technology with a deep understanding of the travel industry. And what about Priceline? Well, Jay Walker had a genius idea. Let people name their price for a flight. It was innovative, chaotic, and occasionally disastrous. One of the fun anecdotes is that a Priceline guest, one of their earlier customers, accidentally booked a flight with a layover in Anchorage on purpose because he thought it was a scenic detour and probably a lot cheaper than a normal price fare. The 2000s. A simpler time when frosted tips were in, MySpace was king, and travel industry was entering its consolidation phase. Let's start with a story about Expedia, the golden child of the 90s. In 2000, Expedia made a power move by acquiring Travelscape.com, a Las Vegas-based company that specialized in wholesale hotel rates. Now, Travelscape wasn't just any scrappy startup. It was one of the first companies to understand that controlling hotel inventory was the real jackpot. And guess who was at the helm of Expedia? Barry Diller, IAC, Interactive Corp. Yes, the same Barry Diller who could sell ice to Eskimos and then bundle it with a hotel package. But Diller wasn't done. He looked at Hotels.com. At the time, it was actually called Hotel Reservations Network, or HRN, and said, why compete when we can just own everything? So in 2003, IAC merged Expedia with Hotels.com, creating the ultimate online travel powerhouse. Suddenly, Diller controlled the distribution for flights and hotels, making him the Tony Stark of online travel, minus the Iron Man suit, of course, and the rockets and all that cool stuff. Did you know that Barry Diller's IAC spun off Expedia in 2005? And it's now a standalone giant worth over $20 billion. Billion with a B. That's a lot of 3-star hotel bookings, guys. Remember I said Expedia changed my life? I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, but I knew it was cool. We were taught the traditional travel agency and tour operator product and supply strategies by people like Carrie Katarik, Bernie Coletti, Nan Martina, and Laura Wild. They were all seasoned hospitality revenue management and traditional travel wholesalers. It was a mix of old with the new styles of how to sell travel online. And it worked. It worked really well. I'm forever grateful for those leaders who gave a fast-talking phone salesman, a wannabe radio DJ who moved to Vegas from Oakland, California, a chance to become a gigantic industry. For the record, I only worked at one hotel behind the front desk, mind you. Shout out to the Claremont Resort and Spa in Berkeley, California. Again, I was actually part of that initial supply team, signing up hotels for the first time and putting them on the internet. And those times were filled with fun, interesting, and funny stories of how we all worked really hard as young 20-somethings to build an industry. The online travel version of Friends or Melrose Place. So quick shout out to the original Travelscape Expedia crew from Vegas and Bellevue, who've all done amazing things in the travel industry and outside of it. So if any of you are interested in talking about those days, call this an open invitation. Hit me up on LinkedIn or just reach out directly to Tickets to Travel. Now let's talk about Priceline. By the mid-2000s, they were a decent player in the US with their name your own price gimmick. But internationally, it was literally crickets. Enter Booking.com. In 2005, Priceline acquired Booking.com for a mere $133 million. Really a steal. Considering today, Booking.com is the crown jewel of online travel on Wall Street. Unlike Priceline's reverse auction model, Booking.com focused on something revolutionary: simplicity. No bidding wars, just instant bookings with free cancellations. Because who doesn't love commitment issues? Booking.com's strategy dominate Europe, a fragmented market where independent hotels reign supreme. While Expedia was busy flexing its US muscle, Booking.com quietly became the go-to platform for Europeans, and then the world. By 2019, Booking.com accounted for over 80% of Priceline's parent company revenue, now called the Booking Holdings. Oh, and their stock? From $15 a share in the early 2000s to over $2,500 today and still growing. That's just not a success story. That's literally a mic drop. Attention all event goers and organizers. Say goodbye to travel headaches and hello to Crew Fair, your ultimate group travel solution for events, festivals, and sports experiences. Whether you're heading to the concert of the year, the big game, or unforgettable festivals, Crew Fair gets you there with exclusive discounts on accommodations, seamless booking options, and 24/7 live support to make your trip stress-free. And for event organizers, Crew Fair has you covered. Monetize attendee travel, streamline hotel room blocks, and gain powerful insights to make every event a success. With over 200,000 happy travelers and partnerships with more than 100 events, Crew Fair is redefining the way we travel for moments that matter. Visit crewfair.com today to book your next event travel experience or discover how Crew Fair can take your event to the next level. Crew Fair, where travel meets unforgettable experiences. In 2000, Expedia made a power move by acquiring Travelscape.com, a Las Vegas-based company that specialized in wholesale room rates that was founded by an innovative duo, Tim Poster and Tom Breitling. If those names sound familiar, they are personal heroes of mine and many others, I'm sure. But after that transaction, they went on to buy the Golden Nugget Hotel and Casino, owned it for about, 18 months, and then flipped it for a massive profit of $140 million. They sold it to Tillman Fertitta in 2005. If you think you've heard of Tim Fertitta before, well, that's because he owns a bunch of stuff like Landry's Restaurants and, well, the Houston Rockets for you NBA fans out there. Again, within those 18 months of owning the Golden Nugget, both Tim and Tom were featured in a reality TV series called The Casino, which aired in 2004. The show provided a behind-the-scenes look at the operations of the Golden Nugget under the new ownership of Breitling and Poster, capturing the challenges and experiences they faced in the casino industry. Tom Breitling co-authored the book Double or Nothing: How Two Friends Risked It All to Buy One of Las Vegas's Legendary Casinos. This book narrates the journey of Breitling and his business partner, Tim Poster, as they acquired the Golden Nugget Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. You can find it on Amazon.com. Now let's talk activities, the awkward stepchild of online travel. In the early 2000s, everyone was focused on flights and hotels. Activities? Who really cared? If you wanted to book a scuba diving trip or a wine tour, you either called a provider or just winged it. God forbid you wanted to book in advance. It wasn't until the mid-2000s that companies like Viator started to take activities seriously. Viator said, hey, maybe people want to book tours and skip the tourist trap roulette. Novel concept. Now it's $1 billion industry. Did you know the global tours and activities market is now worth $250 billion annually? That's a lot of zipline tickets, guys. So what about event tickets? Here's the kicker. While flights, hotels, and activities were getting all the love, live events were left out in the cold. Don't get me wrong, they crush it, but separate of the overall travel experience. Nobody thought maybe the person booking a trip to Paris also wants tickets to Beyonce? Instead, we made them hunt down those tickets like it was a scavenger hunt. Even today, many OTAs still do not integrate live event tickets seamlessly. Why? Well, because it's hard. Inventory is fragmented, distribution is a nightmare, and ticketing companies guard their APIs like they're the Ark of the Covenant. Ticketing for events started with paper stubs in the 19th century, and honestly, some companies haven't progressed much since then. StubHub and Ticketmaster did pave the way for secondary ticketing in the 2000s, but integration with travel? Nope, not quite. We're still waiting for someone to nail that one. Now let's get real. If flights, hotels, and activities can be bundled into seamless packages, why can't live events join the club? The data is here. We know travelers plan trips around events. Look at the World Cup or Coachella. Those aren't just events. They're pilgrimage, movements. So what's the holdup? Distribution partnerships are tricky, event ticket pricing is unpredictable, and the tech integration is a headache. But let me tell you, the first company to crack this code will own the future of travel experiences. And here's where it gets awkward. While flights, hotels, and activities were conquering the world, event tickets were still treated like an afterthought. You could plan an entire vacation to see, say, the Rolling Stones in London, but good luck finding a platform that bundled your flights, hotels, and concert tickets into one seamless package. It didn't exist and still barely does. Back in the 2010s, I was in meetings where event ticketing and travel companies flirted with the idea of integration, but the conversation usually ended with, "Sounds complicated. Let's do that later." Spoiler alert, later still hasn't really arrived, but everyone's trying to work on it. So why does it matter? Why should you care? Because the future of travel isn't just about where you stay or how you get there. It's about why you go in the first place. And for growing numbers of people, the why is a live event. Coachella, the Super Bowl, Taylor Swift. If you can get a hold of the ticket, of course. The companies that figure out how to seamlessly integrate live events with travel will own the next wave of this $9 trillion industry. It's not a question of if, it's who and when. So there you have it, folks. The history, the chaos, and the billion-dollar bets that shaped online travel distribution, from Sabre's clunky reservations to Priceline's European takeover. Every move has brought us closer to an ecosystem where you can book everything in one place. Or at least that's the dream. So there you have it, the history, the current state of travel distribution, sprinkled with some sarcasm and a healthy dose of reality. Flights, hotels, and activities may have gotten their act together, but live event tickets are still the wild, wild west. Isn't that what makes this all so exciting? Before I go, let me leave you with this. The travel and entertainment industries are converging. And if you're not thinking about how to combine these experiences, you're already behind. And trust me, as someone who's been in the trenches, it's not about if this happens, it's all about when. Thanks for joining me on Tickets to Travel. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with your travel-obsessed friends, and send me your best travel tech horror stories. Until next time, keep booking, keep traveling, and keep experiencing those life-changing travel experiences one ticket at a time. I'm Mario Bauduin, and safe travels.
The Tickets to Travel podcast is always brought to you by Expo Travel. Expo Travel is experiences optimized travel, assisting B2B startups and companies with business development in online travel and entertainment ticketing distribution. If your company is looking for ways to boost revenue, increase average order values, or activate your member base with either travel or entertainment ticketing, contact the team at Expo Travel for a consultation today. Visit xpotravel.com. That's xpotravel.com for more information.